Thank you very much, Nakano-san. And then he just identified 3 important pillars in this initiative: strategies, mechanisms, and networking. And now Mr. Fujiwara, Principal Fellow of IJS, is going to elaborate this network aspect further. So, please.
Thank you, Mori-san. Good morning, everyone. My name is Masaya Fujiwara. I'm Principal Fellow of IJS. I'm rather newcomer to this research community world. Before joining IJS October last year, I was working in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs more than 30 years. So Nakano-san is a former colleague, and I'm very happy today to talk about this important Japanese government initiative together with Nakano-san. And as time is relatively limited, I just focus on my presentation on 3 points. First, I would like to briefly touch upon international circumstances surrounding Asian countries in terms of low-carbon growth strategy. And then Japanese contribution so far, we have been doing a lot in this region, in also this area, low-carbon strategy. And finally, I would like to raise some of the point for discussion, some keyword, and we hope that we could discuss a little bit more on this point during this session. I'm also looking forward to listening from panelists. So first, some element of international circumstances. After Copenhagen, many Asian countries are now developing green growth strategy and also low carbon development policies. And in response to this demand, quite a few donors, implementing agencies, private consultant, and research institute have begun to undertake research and provide analytical and advisory service and capacity building on low carbon development in developing countries. And I don't want to enter into detail, but these are some of the examples of progress of low carbon policy in Asia. In each country, shown here, have a kind of a climate change policy in national development plan, and some countries also have a numerical target on low carbon emission reduction. For example, in case of Indonesia, 26% emission reduction by the year 2020, 41% reduction with international support. And also, there are some networks and programs getting into operation with particular emphasis on knowledge sharing and capacity building. Already there are some of this kind of platform on knowledge sharing. For example, Low Emission Development Strategy Global Partnership, LEDSGP. This is led by US. And Climate and Development Knowledge Network, CDKN, led by UK. And Green Growth Knowledge Platform, GGKP, led by Korea, World Bank, OECD, and UNEP. And East Asian Knowledge Platform for Low Carbon Growth, launched by Japan. We don't want to compete with each other, but we can work more closely or making a collaboration. We can make this kind of a knowledge platform or knowledge sharing process more effective. And then Japan's contribution toward low carbon development in Asia. We believe Japan has had a leading role in promoting low carbon development in Asia. We have held 9 GHG inventory workshops since 1997, which is called WGIA, and also promoted joint research collaboration on developing low carbon green growth plan for Iskandar, Malaysia through JICA JST SATREPS since 2010. And we have supported a great deal of research and studies in this region through the framework of the Asia-Pacific Network for Global Change Research, APN. These are examples of the past AIM simulation model used studies. We have these are pamphlet brochures, including national and regional specific LCD studies. As you can see, there are some national studies, India, Bangladesh, Indonesia, Thailand, Vietnam, and so on. And also some regional Iskandar or some cities initiatives, studies. These are also many pictures. There are a lot of active workshop or scenario making and capacity building activities since 1990s. So since 20 years ago, Japan has been conducting various activities in this low carbon development area. And these are also some synthesis reports. We have been conducting 4 dialogue between researchers and policymakers since 2 years in Malaysia, Cambodia, in Thailand, Indonesia. And in each occasion, it is very encouraging that from both sides, from policymaker sides as well as from researcher side, there is a growing interest of more interaction and more collaboration. And there is a strong commitment from the government side to have a more science-based policymaking. And as Nakano-san told us just before, these are just a story of LOCALNet, a Low Carbon Asia Research Network. It was formally launched in April this year at the occasion of East Asia Low Carbon Growth Partnership Dialogue, chaired by Japan and Indonesia. And at that occasion, it was also agreed to East Asia Knowledge Platform for Low Carbon Growth as an open, multi-layered, flexible, all stakeholders network for sharing knowledge toward low carbon growth in Asia. And LOCALNet, so this research network, Dr. Nishioka would explain more in detail after me, would be one of the central core for providing knowledge. And finally, I would like to raise 4 points for today's discussions. And the first is science policy linkage. We need to enhance more our dialogue, first between researchers, so science dialogue, science linkage. But at the same time, of course, in order to make it happen, we need to more strengthen our dialogue, our interaction between researchers and policy makers. So how we can do it. Second question is resource mobilization. As Nakano-san mentioned, we need to involve as many stakeholders as possible in order to achieve low carbon growth, low carbon development. So these stakeholders include not only policymakers of central government, but also local government, cities, as well as funding agencies, international organizations, and research institute. So how we can mobilize these resources from various stakeholders. And thirdly, we need to make a transition to the low carbon development society, low carbon society, and make it happen. We make knowledge into more concrete policy, and also we need investment to realize this kind of a strategy. So how we can make it, we can make transition.